That's an important one. Oh, look, and the microphones are working. Wow.
Yeah, they're working.
They're getting there. They're getting there. I think what we can do, I think I'm going to move this out because then I can still see you this way.
Yes.
That'll work.
That'll work.
There we
That
go.
will do. Don't.
That
That
will
will
do.
Dude, these chairs,
So nice.
so nice.
And they spin.
They make me feel so small, though. I'm like,
You're like, welcome to the meeting. Yes. We have arrived again.
we have.
Episode 6, baby.
Episode 6. Oh, my gosh. Once we get to, like, 10, I remember Finn, I took his podcasting class. He's like, the first 10, trash.
Yeah.
He's like, you're going to look back, trash.
Absolute garbage.
And then you start growing. And I'm like, okay. So,
I'm with it. I'm for it. Sign me up. Thanks,
Yes.
Finn. Keep it
yes.
real.
Shout out. He has got a good podcast.
Yeah, he does, was it Oregon History?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I bet.
And his voice is, like, so perfect.
Oh, yeah. I love Finn's voice.
Yep.
Nice. Okay.
You got a list, man.
I do. So do you. Hit me with your number one. What's first on the docket today?
First on the docket is how lackluster Apple's October 18th event was.
Super lackluster.
Like, what the
Yeah.
was that? You can bleep that out, but really?
Yeah. No, I mean the book itself was depressing. Like it's nice because you know it's going to be used for photographers.
Yeah.
That part was important. They at least recognized that, and they
Yeah.
brought back important ports that it needed.
Yeah.
But
Which
at the
there
same
were
time,
like adapters for.
Mhm.
Like we have one. Like
Yep.
it's like a mass. It works. It does the micro and everything. But like they got rid of the touchpad,
gone.
which I was hoping they.
Who needs a touch bar though? I mean, come on.
I mean, I thought they would get rid of like the textile like keyboard and then just like have it all be touch.
Oh, that would be cool.
Because
Like
then
an
that could
iPad
be
kind of a
yeah,
thing.
which
Yeah.
you could literally just have like 2 screens,
Oh, that would be
more
I could get behind
interactive.
that.
That would be cool. I thought, oh yeah, it's Apple. They're gonna like, and it was like, what? They
Nope.
they just redid the old one.
Yeah.
They
With
brought
the new chip.
yeah with the new chip and the notch.
Yeah, we extended the screen all the way to the edges because why not?
Everybody's so mad about it too. You could turn it off. You know, you could
The
just, like-
notch.
yeah,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But,
I had no
like-
idea. Well, I mean, extra screen size, extra screen.
yeah.
Why
Everyone's
not?
like, why would what? And I'm like, okay, like
Yeah.
turn it off. I don't understand what you're complaining about, but okay. And then the AirPods,
AirPods. Yeah.
they weren't even like they're like lesser than the Pro.
Oh, really?
Like when they list them on their website, it's like the last generation of like regular AirPods, the new ones, and then the Pros. And it's in like I think the price point is like $179 or
It's
something.
like right in the middle.
Yeah,
Oh.
but they're like water resistant and like
Yep, sweat resistant and water resistant. Saw that.
which is a big deal. Like,
Yeah. It means you could wear them in the rain.
yeah,
Which is
and
cool.
we live in Oregon,
Yeah,
so
necessary.
but
Yeah, I don't.
I
You
wouldn't
know,
buy 'em.
They push spatial audio on them too.
yeah, but the songs like
But,
the audio
yeah.
could be made
Well, you can
spatial.
already do spatial on like the Pros too.
Yeah,
So
so
it was
it's-
like, what's going on here? Yeah.
I think when you upload music, you can choose like left, right, or you can do spatial now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at least on Apple Music.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Huh.
so like that kind of was.
I feel like you have to be in a space where you want to listen in like a spatial kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean some like artists want that, like want their song to be that.
Yeah.
So I get that, but like I don't know, some songs I don't really care if
Yeah.
they're all around me. Like it's
Yeah, I
just
don't
like
really get it. I mean, like, well, I kind of get it, but like at the same time, I mean, it makes sense for more of like if you're in a 3D world kind of a thing.
VR.
Like
Yeah,
VR.
that would
spatial
make
audio
sense.
Makes sense. But other than that, you're
No.
just like, why?
Yeah,
Like if I was in a VR and I saw people on a stage, and then if I turned my head away from stage, I'd want to still hear it in that
oh,
ear.
that would be cool.
That would be nice. I
That
could
would be
get
really
with
cool.
that.
Yeah, because they're doing a lot of virtual concerts, so that would make a lot of sense.
Right? Yeah. So maybe if there's a bunch of people that are all just kind of vibing kind of a thing, and then turning, and
I'm surprised Apple hasn't done anything with VR. They've done AR apps, but like nothing like.
That's really interesting thought, actually. Okay, imagine you had a entire party going on.
Mm-hmm.
You had a virtual concert that was playing in one side of the room, let's say the north side of the room, right?
Okay.
If I want to talk to someone and I have spatial audio on, if I look to the south, could like, do you think my own brain would more easily process the fact that they're talking to me because like I've now put the band behind me and like put them
I
in
think if the
front of me
audio was
kind
set
of a
up
thing?
to like adapt to where they're at,
Oh, really?
where
So it
it's
moves.
turning.
Oh.
So I mean, I don't know.
But the spatial, I thought it was supposed to like
I
stay.
mean, the spatial is set, like
Yeah.
it's set. But like if they kept going with it and
Yeah.
they're like, okay, let's pinpoint like how the person moves,
Yeah,
and then with the audio,
that'd be interesting.
that would be cool. But
Yeah.
like,
Because like a whole party of that
That'd be dope.
Kind of sick,
ooh.
right? Maybe there's parties at Apple happening, and that's really what they're designing it for. They're just designing it for.
I mean, there must be parties. They
They're
didn't come up
Apple.
with anything new.
They're just drinking and having a
They're
great
just
time.
like, F it, like COVID, right? Like they're like, you know what? Let's just go back to the old
You
shit,
know,
make it new.
yeah,
We don't need this.
classic.
And then the air, or what is it, the home little speaker things?
Oh,
What are they
yeah.
called? They like came out like new colors.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, cool, yellow. That's cool. Like I wanted one anyways. Now it's in yellow. Cool, but like
yeah, but
that's
Really?
what you saved this for this
this
event.
is what we did. Yeah,
Yo,
yeah. I feel like they could have done better.
that wasn't even worth an event.
No, it wasn't.
Like the only like the MacBook they could have done at the regular event, and it would have been like one event.
Yeah.
Like cool, but they were like, no,
Yeah, the release,
whole
100%.
event. They
Yeah,
drug it out
makes
too.
sense, too. Yeah, of course.
They were like, hey, it's coming, and they were all like, yeah.
Yeah, we're like, this is not even an event. Like, it wasn't
No.
even anything that was like mind blowing either. Like, you're
No.
expecting them to be like, we're changing the entire game, and you're just like, no, it's not what you did at all.
Yeah.
Like,
And then one of the announcers was saying connectivity, like connectivity, and it bugged me the whole time.
connectivity.
Yeah, I can replay it for you later, but like it was a little rough, and the comments were just roasting her, and I was like, totally took away from the event. I was like, oh man.
No, that's
Someone was like, she looks like she was made to work for Apple, and I was like, oh, that's nice. And they're like, yeah, her voice is really Siri like, and I was like, oops. But like, I don't know, there wasn't
not a
like
strong suit.
the fact that I remember that more than like the actual like products
Stuff. Yeah,
is like
that's a failure.
yeah.
Like, yeah,
Apple, I'm a big fan, but like, bruh,
pick it up.
yeah.
Pick it up. Yeah.
Like what they've done a lot with the iPad, but then they were like, with the MacBook.
It was very.
It was like here. Like, you want a laptop? Pff,
But
here.
that's the event. Oh, yeah.
I know.
There weren't. Next time. They'll
Next
get them.
time.
They'll get them next time. 100%.
It's so annoying. Anyways.
Speaking of companies, though, do you think companies run sentiment analysis on internal communication?
Okay. Rewind. Say it
Yeah.
again.
Okay, so companies, right?
Yep.
They have like obviously internal channels
Yes.
in which, like in very large companies, there's a lot of talk always going back and forth, right?
Yep.
And then there's the basic idea of like sentiment analysis, where you take a person's words or words in general, phrases, and you assign a positive or negative value to them depending on how they like how it feels, right? If it's a negative word, it's a negative connotation, so it gets a negative score. Positive, it gets a positive score, right? And so, do you think companies are taking the time to actually look at what the talk inside of the company is like doing, whether it be positive or negative, kind of a thing?
I think companies should do that. I don't know that they are.
Right.
I mean, I feel like there would be more than just positive or negative. I think there would be like constructive. Because like you could be like, hey, this isn't working for me. And that can be, if there's only negative and positive, that's automatically going to be negative, right? But it's not really negative. It's constructive.
Yeah.
So maybe like those three,
Yeah.
that would be useful.
Right.
But you don't want like the fake. You don't want the
Yes,
fake happy.
you want to be able to run it on them without them knowing that it's being run on them,
and then
kind
be
of a
like,
thing.
okay, this is a problem.
And because that would be something that like you could obviously address, right? But not in more of like a roundabout way, not in a hey, we need to talk nicer to each other. More
Yeah.
of like a hey, what can I do to improve my own working thing?
Yeah, I think that would
'Cause, like,
help with like fake professionalism.
So many companies have that problem.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you know, if you're working at Facebook, right, there's probably like a bunch of stuff that's chattering back and forth that like even like you'd probably see like small things like blossom out of like, you know, they go from like a really small thing and they become like a really big thing because they don't get like nipped in the bud early. And it's like you're
Yes, I can say from past experiences, not my current job. that there are small things that people say passive aggressively that get like email forwarded, and it just like boom, 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 and all of a sudden it's like, you said this to who? Like it
and it takes down the whole
blows up.
Yeah.
And like it could be just as simple as like, because there's a lot of fake professionalism that goes around, so people are like, hey team, let's circle back. And I tell me to circle back. Tell me to circle back. Tell me. Like, it just, or let's put a pin in that.
Oh.
I hate that because they do the little, the little action, and I'm just like, I have an action for you. Like, no. But, like, it's just, I think that would help with that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think so. I mean, I was just thinking about that because it was an idea, like sentiment analysis in general is really interesting, but it was like on a company scale, right? Being able to recognize just what's going on internally and like see those red flags ahead of time, I think is like very important for a business. But
yeah,
I don't know how many are actually doing that or taking the time. It's also like it is slightly an infringement on the privacy of the people that are at work, which is another one that you have to think about. But it's like there are certain things that are obviously just like that's company communication, and you're doing it for a reason, kind of a thing. And you're like, oh, well, maybe we can solve a problem.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna like actually shit talk at work, you're probably just gonna text the person.
True. Well, and I mean, like
or
that's another
text
thing
a
that like
person.
AI could possibly see that way beforehand too. Like a well-trained AI kind of a thing could see like certain phrases or certain ways that people are saying things and just be like, ooh.
There's a lot of passive aggressive emails.
Oh, it's so bad. Like I feel like
I love.
plague.
I saw one and it was like, that's a great idea, like so and so. But like, let's do this, and I'm like,
oh, yeah,
okay,
yeah. Well, I mean, because like you do have to like definitely sugarcoat things in a way.
Yeah, but
and,
the
like,
fakeness of it really drives me crazy, and that I feel like that creates more problems.
Yes.
Like if you could just tell me like straight up like, hey, that's probably not gonna work right now, but let's like focus on what we already got going, and then maybe we can like build on that later. But like right now, it's not gonna work. Like that would be like more straightforward than like, oh, we'll circle back to that, or like it's like,
yeah, we'll come back around. Yeah.
I hate
and you're
that.
just like,
I'm
hey,
like, you're
listen,
not gonna.
Yeah, we're not actually going to. You're not moving forward with that idea.
No.
Sick, cool.
Yeah, let's fucking move on.
Yeah,
like, I'm tired of it. I have so many people that that I know are like that as people though. They're like they're like, let's deflect. And then, like, let's move on and be happy. Yeah. So
no, and I think that would be something that could be beneficial. I don't know who would run that or who would be in charge of something like that.
Well, I feel like
definitely think that's something that
I feel like communication systems like Microsoft Teams and Slack
yeah
could integrate that and then
good.
have like the main admin get the results of that without, you know, everybody knowing. Yeah. Like I feel like that could be. I feel like there's a really fine line of like reading everything and then just getting the data of like what's negative. Like if somebody's like negative or is like, I don't know, graded negative 90% of the time, there's obviously a problem. Yeah. And then that can be addressed. Yeah. But like if you're getting like a 50-50, like everybody talks shit, like don't lie to me. Like I know.
It's true though.
Like no, honestly.
It's what you do. That's
yes,
it's facts.
That's why I'm like when we're doing like Zoom calls, I'm always like, oh god, I hope I was muted, because like sometimes it just slips, some stuff just. Yep.
No, it
just goes.
But that's what you do. So I mean, it's like it's a whole thing. But I think that would actually, especially in Slack and like some of those other ones, could be an interesting tool to have to look at. Even for myself, I'd love to look at myself and like the way that I say things, or like, you know, that kind of like just personal assessment, because you don't see that. And, you know, like people should care more about their data when they think about it, but like it's just because it's not presented in a very good way that they can get to.
Yeah, I would like to see, because I don't know, I would always be like, yeah, for sure, or like I would like, yeah, no problem, but sometimes I need to be like, hey, that's not happening, but like say it in a nice way, because I'm like, yeah, no problem, and then I'm like, I'm so sorry this didn't get done. And if I could see that pattern more often and be like, yeah, this isn't working for me, like, and then if that same program could come up with like solutions, like you say no problem a lot, maybe just say, hey, I'll get to it if I can, but if I can't, here's when I probably most likely can, or something like that.
Well, and that comes down to like an organization thing too, because like oh god,
If
so
I was-
many. Like even me, I'm so bad, especially with like calendar stuff and things like that. Like I've been using a calendar more recently, which is nice, but like even then, it's like stuff still slips, and you're just like in this weird thing where it's like you want to be able to fit everything in, but like putting it on top and then not having it all integrated. I actually saw an app recently that did like reminders, calendar, and notes all integrated into one application, which I thought was really cool.
Ooh.
And then put it into a timeline so that you could actually like see things as they were coming, and then you could actually move whole parts of the timeline, so you could just be like, ooh, I didn't get to this today that I wanted to do, and it's tied to these other things. I can just move it down to the next day, which I thought
Monday
was
does that.
really nice.
Monday.com where we're on.
Yeah.
Like that's literally
Like the ability,
because I've been moving mine. I'm like,
choose
I ain't getting
stuff,
this done. Like,
Yeah.
doot, doot, doot.
which way I mean, but like that,
Yeah.
I think is a really important thing, just to be able to do that. But and then see the sentiment, obviously, that's within that. But
I mean, I feel like Amazon would be like searching for terms like this place or like, and they would be like, robot, get them, like they're done, gone. I'm like, oh god, like
yeah,
so there's like
one. Yeah, well, and that's why I also believe in like very anonymous things, like especially when you get into bigger organizations, like having the ability to submit anonymous stuff is very important, because like then you can actually talk about what's important without having somebody be like, okay, really, like we know you've talked about this constantly.
Yeah.
We
Like, I know
this
it's
is a
you,
problem.
Zach,
but it's
like-
like yeah, right. Which you know, it's like it makes a difference because it's actually taking something that could very well be a problem and have it be addressed. And then if it's not, it's like totally on them for not addressing it.
Yeah.
It's not on like you for not saying anything.
I feel like it would save a lot of time because there's always something.
So much where you
Yeah.
just go, hey, maybe if we focused on that, that would be a little bit better.
Yeah, or if
But-
I think if people were more honest and like less of the fake professionalism. Like I said that like in my last 3 job interviews was like, I'm not about the fake professionalism and I will not do it because I think it creates more problems
yeah.
than like what it's worth. And obviously my last interview was good, so like it worked. But like it just doesn't make sense. Like things that are supposed to prevent problems are creating problems, and now that we're seeing that, it's like, well, we can implement systems that just demolish it.
Yeah, just take it out. And just speak about it, which that's the other part. Good company communication. Quality. But yeah, no, I definitely think I think that sentiment analysis thing could be interesting. I would just like to also see it on like different companies, because like part of me believes that like if you took Gary Vaynerchuk and like his internal stuff versus like the internal stuff of Facebook, like those are 2 totally different internal
different
communication
vibes.
models,
Yeah.
and you get like you get totally different vibe charts. You get totally different like you know
A vibe chart. Tell me that
a company vibe chart.
and then they submit it to like Forbes at the end of the month. Like, what was your vibe? What was this month's vibe?
This
of
company's
Facebook?
vibe.
And you know, like Amazon during Christmas, it's like fuck you vibe. Like, I got too much going on. Fuck this. I'm out. And then Gary V's like, he's like, oh, we've been just big chilling vibe.
Yeah, big chilling vibe. We're having a good time.
Vacation time, you know.
Gotta take time for my family.
Yeah.
Gotta take time for me. This
Gotta
is what's
go in the
important.
wine business.
Like-
Gotta just chill and drink. It's
Yeah.
fine.
That's
Ooh,
pretty
that would be
dope.
cool.
That would, but I would totally look at that in Forbes. That would be like a really cool article to read
Yeah.
of like company vibes. Hey Forbes, you're welcome.
Yeah. Don't they have like the 3 articles and then you have to subscribe thing, or is that something else?
So many do that now.
So many do that,
The
and it's
subscription
pissing me off.
models. Yeah.
So Forbes, if you do that, it's not fair. I think
don't-
we get Forbes though on the
Exactly.
news app though.
Yeah. So that one's
That
pretty
works.
pretty prime. Not gonna
Wall
lie.
Street does it too. I figured out that they're
Yeah.
on that. So like, because I used to go to Wall Street, like their website, and look at, because I love the format because it looks like a newspaper.
It does.
But like on here, let's go to the articles. Like if I see one on there, I like. I'm like,
Well, and that's like the magazine portions of certain stuff. There are ones where you're like can only see so many, and then it does hit a paywall even for the magazine itself.
oh really?
Yeah, and I have seen that with like Wall Street and like one of the other ones, Bloomsburg.
Oh,
That one.
See, that
if you
doesn't
look at
surprise
certain
me.
stuff, like you reach a certain point where it's just like, no, we can't give you that information. You're gonna have to sign up for like a premium version
Yeah.
of this. on
There's
here.
always a freaking premium blah blah blah
Of
blah.
course.
Like, when are they gonna realize that we're gonna get this anyways?
You're
Like,
gonna find it eventually, but I mean, like, I think that one is like it's a timeliness thing, right? It's
When
like,
is
today or tomorrow.
maybe we should cut this part, but when is Apple gonna realize that we can screenshot the magazine pages, articles? We could screenshot the whole thing
Mm-hmm.
and just like send it to everybody.
But who's doing that? What? What?
What?
Who are you sending it to?
I mean, I'm just sending it to like my mom.
Yeah, okay. Do you think she's reading it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
She reads what I send her.
Okay.
She does, because I don't send her that much.
Oh, okay. Well,
like,
then, yeah.
My siblings are like.
Then Apple's probably not that upset about it. I think they'd be more upset if you were like
posting it on Facebook.
Yeah, I feel like they'd be upset if you were downloading the entire magazine and putting it on like Pirate Bay and being like,
yeah,
hey,
that's no.
Here's this week's edition of like the week.
Didn't that happen with like National Geographic? Like people were like, yeah.
Oh yeah, all kinds of stuff. People do it on like Pirate Bay with like so many different magazines because people just don't want to, don't want to pay for it. So
I
like,
did not know that like
way around it.
People were pirating books on Amazon.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. They were just like straight. I was like, what?
Libgen.io or Libgen.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
That's one. Like there's Z Libraries, another one. There's a bunch where you can like literally just go online. You can like type in the freaking thing and you just get that whatever textbook it is.
I had a professor at OSU that like, it wasn't Dan, but it's something Dan would do. They were like, hey, these are all illegal sites that you can download your textbooks for free and like put it up on the board or on the screen. And we're like,
I mean, yeah,
for like 5 minutes of a
but
sound.
Don't
like, but he's like, but I'm not encouraging.
Yeah,
but I'm letting you know.
Hey.
And then he's like, okay, click, and then like went on to the next one because I guess the school was making him like you have to have a textbook. But they were like, he's like, I just had to choose like 3 books and they're required and they count how many people check them out. And if nobody does it, then I don't have to do it. And I was like, okay.
Nice.
Yeah, good times. It was a good class.
But yeah.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Jesus God.
Yeah, textbooks, that's a great part about it. You can get a bunch of books online all the time for free. All right.
Speaking of books.
Oh, okay.
Newsletters.
Okay.
Twitter now has a newsletter platform.
Tell me more.
Yeah,
this
I know. I found this today.
Yeah.
It came out September 8th, and I just found out about it today.
8th?
Yeah.
That's been a minute then.
So you go to a profile, right?
Okay.
And like right under your bio, before your tweets, before your pinned tweets, it's like part of your bio.
Okay.
You can subscribe to a newsletter, and it's through Twitter. Like they do it. So you can make a newsletter that they sign up with. With one click, it uses the email from your Twitter account.
Okay.
And then you sign up for it. And
it's Twitter's newsletter?
No, it's like the profile. It's like,
tweets.
we could do one.
Oh, so that the tweets that you're tweeting would then get like ranked in some way and then put into a newsletter?
No, like you can make a full-on newsletter.
Okay, so you mean literally it's like tweet for tweet.
It's
put
like
into
MailChimp,
an
but
email
Twitter.
And sent to the person.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. How do we feel about that?
I feel like that's a really handy thing if you're never on Twitter, but you want it, because it's the equivalent of like an RSS feed at that point.
I feel like NFT people could like do their own, like, here's a monthly, like, end of the month, this is what I've put out this month type of newsletter that goes out.
That would be interesting.
That would be
How do you design the newsletter? Are you allowed
it's
to
like
design it?
part
I
of,
thought it was just the...
So it's fully like, I wouldn't say fully. I would say that you can design it within their parameters, like font, bold, quotes. You can add media, blah blah blah. But like, it's
that person's newsletter?
Yeah.
And you make it on the Twitter app.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So like, you could do one for your freaking profile.
Interesting.
It is like random, but like I was thinking like. Copy Makes Paste could do one of like, here's the content. And here's like whatever, like top moments or something like that. But like, there's a couple of them that are just like YouTubers that have their own already have their own newsletter, right?
Yeah.
But they're just like copy paste into the Twitter one, and now your followers can get it, and if they want to do that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think it's cool.
That's not a bad
I think it's useful because Twitter is a totally different demographic than probably your normal newsletter demographic.
Do you have to have a Twitter account to sign up for the Twitter newsletter?
I'm assuming so because it grabs that email.
So like if I didn't have one, right? If I just sent the link to it, do you think somebody would be able to be like, ooh, let me subscribe to your Twitter newsletter without being subscribed to your Twitter because I don't have an account, but could you still send it to my email? Because like if that's
Maybe.
the case, that opens up a really wide range. Because then you could implement that. Like you could just like literally put it in your website and have
Yeah.
people clicking on that.
I mean,
and
it's
then
free, so
That's your
it's free
newsletter.
to do, which I thought was like,
Kind of money.
and you can get paid for it.
Yeah. And a very important thing because like depending on what you're putting on your Twitter, which normally is like, hey, here's what's coming up in the next week, here's what's
Yeah.
coming up in the next month, here's what's happened already, like
I've started
super
tweeting.
important things.
I learn a new word. I'll tweet a sentence with the word, and people aren't catching it. And I think it's hilarious.
Nice. I like that. I've been recently, every time I go through Reddit and I find a post that I like, I will share it through Twitter and then I'll put a caption on it being like, this is super sick, or like, that's how you're supposed to use robots, or like all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then people will like, they'll have to click obviously on the Reddit link and then go to Reddit to see it. But
Yeah.
it's like, that I think is cool because it's like, there's a bunch of stuff on Reddit that obviously doesn't make it to that platform.
Yeah, I post a lot
Should.
of Medium articles on Twitter,
Yeah.
but I don't like caption them. I probably should, because I just use the default. And I'm
That
like,
has the thing.
"That's
Yeah.
whatever,
Well,
it's
Reddit
fine."
doesn't have a, what do you call it? Like when you share a
Like a
Reddit post,
default?
it just puts in the link obviously and shows
Yeah.
like the beginning part of the Reddit post title, and then it just opens it up free for whatever you want to use.
They usually just like Medium's just like, hey, look what I saw or look what I found, and I'm like, stop, I don't talk like that.
You're like, hey, wait a minute.
I'm usually like, hey, check shit out.
Yeah,
or
no one
like-
ever says that. If you ever see that in a post, like,
Or the check
Fake.
this out, and it's got the eyes emoji, and it's like, stop. Like I think
who is doing that?
I think Apple did it one time, and then it like,
But
because that's when the
who-
emojis were like newer.
Who is normally doing that? Who's finding something on the internet and being like, "Oh my god, guys, look at this!" Like, I don't know. Like,
Housewives.
okay.
New Pilates.
Oh my god.
Insert Pilates clip here.
Still haven't done any of the Apple Fitness stuff. To be honest.
I did one. I did the
Yeah?
Billie Eilish
Okay.
biking, and it was like super f***ing intense. I was gonna die. God, the instructor was so like positive. She was all like, "This is for your like mental state," and I'm like, "I'm dying on this f***ing bike, bro. Like, I don't know about you, but I'm dying." And she's like, you could tell when they stop to like take the sweat off these people so they look pristine.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
There's like it's like really fast. So
They
you have to
cut-
like know
yeah.
like, oh,
When it happens.
that's what happened. But it pisses me off because I'm like drenched, and she's like, like just comes out of like a mist. I'm like, you.
You're like, okay. You're
No, really, really great. I like it. They have Pilates now
Give that a shot.
and yoga.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for them to partner with like P90X. Get some really intense on there. Because I'm already dying. I just like kind of want to.
Yeah. You're like,
I'm not
let's
gonna
push
do
this
it.
a little farther.
In my high school, they did P90X yoga for a whole semester in PE.
How do you do yoga
He,
on
like-
a P90?
He did it. He did the thing. I don't know. Like he had the disc and he was like,
Okay, but also part of me is imagining just like P90 machines like flexing and like doing like stretches.
He
like,
gave us,
as a
like-
P90, like an animated P90,
No,
like it's flexing itself, like it's like getting all of its like chords just like in a good thing, and like the
Leo,
just a
I want you
class,
to put up like
just a class full of P90s.
Jesus
like is it
Christ.
one in the front that's obviously wearing like a
We're all like lined up in the dark.
yeah.
In the dark. In the dark. He turned
Yeah.
the lights off because
Yeah,
we
yeah.
all died.
Yeah, no, they're doing hot yoga, obviously, because P90s. You know,
There were-
the metal.
okay,
It
there
helps
were-
make the metal. The
when
heat
you-
helps to make the metal bend.
when
That's-
you- In that class, and I'm not shitting you, we did P90X yoga, okay? We would have to have partners to help stretch, right? And I was next to this couple. And it's dark in the gym, and we're in high school, and I saw
no.
some ungodly fucking things.
no.
So I try to move.
yeah.
He's like, no, go back to your spot. And I'm like, I just saw a dick. I'm not going back. And he's like, well, that sucks. And tells me to go back. And I'm sitting there, I'm like,
You're like, all right.
you're going to have to bleep that, Leo.
Hey, do you need some help?
Like, I was like, what the f-? Like, they're literally like... So that was my high school PE experience.
Nice. Sounds like a good high. I had dodgeball. And the FitnessGram Pacer test.
I fucking loved the pacer test, dude. In elementary school, that was my shit. Elementary through middle school, loved it. Loved it. I'd always be the last one.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why. Honestly, I have no idea why.
Ours, we just had the mile that you had to run around the track, and you had to do it like sub 8 minutes or something like that, so that it wasn't like
we
otherwise people
had
were
to-
like,
yeah.
okay.
We had to do that, but I got exempt from it because I have I'm gonna pronounce it wrong, plantar fasciitis.
Oh.
My feet.
Oh.
So I was like exempt, and then like he's like, I want you to
nice.
try. So I did it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I need to go to the doctor now. And he's like, what? My feet? Yeah. I'm not kidding. Like they were blood red. Like they were like bruised, and like it was so bad. My mom had to come pick me up, and he felt so bad. He wrote me an apology letter.
Oh God.
And I kind of felt like I was like, yeah. You.
Yeah. You're like,
like I told you I couldn't do this, but you wanted me to try, so I f***ing did it.
Yeah, we tried.
Yeah.
Hey, at least you gave it your all.
But then I got to make fun of the people that were behind me and didn't do it didn't finish till after I did.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's gotta hurt.
You play soccer? That sucks.
Yeah.
Who let you on the team? It was more of like a power, like, you know. Obviously, I could still probably couldn't do it, but this is not because of my feet. It's just because I can't do it. Yeah, it's fine. Anyways, back to the iPads.
And following that same vein, though, regarding classes, I actually had an idea that the really popular things have like in-class quizzes in college, right? Mm-hmm. That pretty much allow the teacher to know that like students are there in class that day because it's
the clicker things,
right? Exactly. And there's like there's like classic ones where it's just like turn in a sheet of paper at the beginning or end of class, right? And it's worth a certain amount of points. And then you add all those points up. They're like really simple points to get for most classes. Mm-hmm. You just have to show up and get them, kind of a thing. And especially with like Zoom classes and those. And I thought about it and I was like, first of all, really stupid design, because it's like if every single thing is the exact same amount of points, right? Mm-hmm. You're like, obviously, if I'm like there half the time, then I get half the points.
I pay to be there. Why do I have to like show that I'm there?
Yes, that is also true. But I do think it's important to have those.
That's my argument.
But I think this would be even cooler. I think it would be really, really dope. Is if what they did with those in-class questions and quizzes was that it increased in points exponentially as you got to the end of the term.
Okay.
So, like, day 1, it's worth 1 point, right? Day 2, obviously 2, and then 4, and then 8, and then... So that... Because obviously the most important days for you to show up to class are the last ones in the trimester. Like, those are the ones, or semester, or whatever you're taking, because, like, you need to be there. Those are the good ones, right? Yeah. The beginning ones, it's like, oh, you could probably learn that, right?
Yeah.
But, like... But then if you do that, it kind of makes like, oh, if I don't go to the last day of class or I miss the last day of class, I'm missing out on literally 50% of the points.
Yeah, and if you like, I feel like if you should be able to miss 3 to 4 days.
Oh, yeah. You should definitely have a few.
I had a few professors that were like, you missed 2 days? That sucks. Deducted me a whole grade.
Oh, God.
I was like...
That's gotta hurt.
And they would do it in front of the person that did it in front of the entire like class, and I was like,
oh yeah, you had to set an example. Like, obviously,
I'm sorry, I was gone for 2 days, and I was gone for 2 days because my grandmother was sick and I was in the hospital with her the whole time. Oh, so I stood up and said that and made him look like an ass.
Oh, of course, because you have.
I thrived in college. Yeah. Like I really was like, I'm not taking shit anymore.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to put them in their place. But I also think that would be a fantastic structure to have them at least show up on and be like, hey, you do get a couple free cards so that you can miss days. But
to also fix that problem would be like make classes more enjoyable and make people like make it desirable to go. There's some classes like math that I'll never
it's a tough one
to go to.
But I mean, if you put in the right work, you can definitely make it still interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
You can be like, hey, here's some use cases for this. Like, ooh, you want to cheat craps? This is why statistics is important. You want to do like
bring up statistics, dude. Don't. That's the only class I've ever gotten a D in.
Oh, really?
Statistics, yeah. I was so mad.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, those kind of classes, if you put in the work, like, a bunch of them, right? Yeah. You could always make something interesting out of it, I feel like.
You could, definitely. Yeah. Like Dan did. Like, I would go to Dan's class,
constantly.
Like, I would sneak into other classes that he had sometimes where I was, like, waiting for another class, and he had another class, like, right after. I was like, I'll stay.
Hey. I'm not actually in this class, but I'm in this class.
Like, it doesn't, he doesn't care.
No.
I wanted to learn more. I wanted to cram that in.
It's a good move.
That's a good idea.
Hey, thank you.
You should bring that up to OSU.
Yeah, send him an email.
Yeah. Hey, look.
Hey, got an idea for you. Yeah. Send it to university.
Why not? They're all about innovation.
Send them all. Yeah.
Do it.
Hit them all up. Hit Read Up.
Be like, I'm alumni.
PSU. Yeah.
Did you get the alumni magazine?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is that new? Because I've never gotten one before.
Oh, really?
I've been graduated since 2018.
Oh, yeah, no, I've been getting it for, like, the past year. because like they gave every single one of us like a free year because we graduated in like the year that they were like, oh my god, we're so sorry, you had to put up with all of that.
Yeah.
Here's some free stuff.
Yeah,
And that was their way of apologizing for everything, which is fine.
I got the full
I
graduation.
loved it. I was like, this is great. Get a little thing. I can read up on what's going on campus.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It was good.
How many colors do you think they're going to discover until they, or how many colors do you think they're going to discover until they're not going to write an article about it? Because right now they're at like 3 colors that they've discovered. I feel like that's like OSU's like.
I think they just keep discovering. I don't think there's because like
they're gonna write an article
one of
every
two
time.
things happens. Either we create so many colors that they just create a palette that they say, "Ooh, this is the palette created by OSU," or our eyes just can't even comprehend anymore the difference between two of them, and then the articles switch to more of like, what's really the difference between those two blacks?
What is
like
color?
Are those the same? Like this is a blue and this is a blue, but
Yeah.
like really, you're telling me that mulberry blue and like blueberry blue are like two
We're
different colors,
comparing berries
but
now.
you put them next to each other and you're like,
Yeah.
those are the same blue.
Yeah, I would like. I think there would be. They should make a test for if we all see like because I have a theory that we all see colors differently, but we see like what we see is like comparable to what you're saying. So that's why we're like, yeah, that's black because it's dark. But like you have no way to actually describe black other than other things that are black.
Of course.
So for that person, it could literally be green, and those other things are green, but you don't know. That would be a really cool test to make.
Because you can't see through another person's eyes.
Yeah,
That's
you
the
can't.
toughest
Like
part.
you have no idea. But
That'd be
colorblind people are like, yeah,
I
that's
think
purple. And
I
then
think you kind of solve that problem though when you start doing like brain stuff, like when Elon's freaking
well, yeah, but
what do
it
you
just
call it comes in,
oh,
then
yeah,
you're
I
just
saw
like
that.
then you can jack in, and you could actually be doing that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I really think that we all see differently.
Oh, definitely.
Like it's crazy. But I want to like see a test to see like, do we see the same green or do we see like, am I seeing your black? Like it doesn't like I want to see that. I think that'd be cool.
That would actually
Because like if y'all are seeing a totally different thing, I want to trade because this boring.
yeah, right.
Like certain things are cool, but
Yeah.
like some boring. I'm tired.
Yeah, you look at it and you're
Yeah.
like, huh, weird.
Yeah.
No, that would be.
Cool.
I'm with it. I'm with it. I like that idea. That would be pretty good.
Are you ready for this? Because I've been sitting on this.
Hold on, let me sit up.
Okay. A statue of our favorite gorilla, our favorite, God bless him,
Yeah.
is facing the Wall Street charging bull as a protest against
saw
wealth
this.
disparities.
Yeah.
Who better to represent
Yeah.
than, oh my God. I saw
Harambe?
this. Yes. I was like,
Do you see the bananas?
yes.
It killed me.
I loved
They're
it.
like, we're not bringing flowers. No.
Bananas.
Here's bananas.
Yeah, like this, you have a
Oh,
whole
boy.
generation of like trauma because of this one, like, gorilla.
Yeah.
But they're like, yeah, this, and then they did that. I thought that was cool.
I thought it was cool too. I really,
thought,
really enjoyed
like,
it.
that was like, I think when people do stuff like this and it's nonviolent and it really does mean something and it's like an icon, then you're like, I'm gonna listen because
Yeah.
they have to listen because our generation's like Wall Street, like really like
That's interesting that
Yeah.
they actually did that.
yeah,
Which also
it
makes
was
sense
quiet,
though, because like they did refer to all of the people like with Robinhood investing and like a bunch of the different ones as apes.
Yeah.
Like they're just like it's just a bunch of apes.
Yeah.
And that's like I mean
yeah, but they did this very
wrong.
quietly,
yeah,
which was surprising
that is cool.
because you would think you would hear about it like months before. This is gonna happen
Yeah.
on this day at this
You're
time.
gonna set it up. and
Anonymous is gonna be like, be there, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, no. Well, no, because that's the exciting part.
Yeah.
It's like dropping something off. And just
This was
being
like, I was like,
duh.
oh my God, but you didn't see any of the big guys. Like I saw this on Wall Street, but like, I mean like Facebook and Twitter and like, you didn't see any celebrities or any like higher class people talk about it, which I thought was like interesting. I was like, oh, this is the one thing you don't want to comment on.
We're not gonna.
We're not gonna have a
going
political opinion now. Oh, okay, nice.
That is funny.
Love that.
Yeah.
But I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that is an interesting one.
Stuff like that doesn't happen very often where it's like it's political but it's also like we're just gonna leave this here.
Yeah, we're just gonna,
gonna-
just real quiet about it.
Balls in your court.
Like, just look at that.
Just have a good day. All right, see you later.
Yeah,
I love that.
because you don't really hear anything. The internet definitely
No.
talked about it though.
Oh,
There were like
okay.
there was a lot. I definitely saw a lot of comments on it.
They were like, I heard or I saw a post. It was like maybe we should put him in front of all the capitals, like all the state capitals, and see what happens. And I'm like, okay, like keep going. And I go down. They're like, let's replace all the Confederate statues with him. And I'm like, oh my god, okay, now we're gonna have like it's literally gonna be Planet of the Apes.
Let's replace
like,
every statue.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and
this
do
one.
it. But
Well, at that point, it loses its potency.
But like people are like, let's do this, and there's gonna be like a whole. I'm just like, people go nuts with this.
That one was. I mean, that's a good move though.
Yeah, no, I thought it was good. I thought it was like,
I'm with it.
Well done.
I'm with it.
Like, it was just like, okay,
That's a good design.
yeah, it doesn't piss me off, which is like great because
that's art. That's what art is supposed to do. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're here for.
And it wasn't destructive. It wasn't intrusive. It wasn't like, like blown up out of proportion. There wasn't like nobody's being canceled behind it. It's more of a just like,
Hey, here you go.
here's the check.
Yeah, right. Well, and there's a lot of people also taking the time to be able to like take their own interpretations from it, because like while some people probably saw it as like wealth discrepancies and like things of that, like some people also probably just saw it as like an ape staring down a bull.
Yeah, and probably a lot of people were
like,
like, what does this mean? And then they looked it up, and now more people are getting educated on like what's actually happening.
Yeah.
Because I have a theory that like stocks and stuff aren't really going to exist in like 20 years. I feel like NFTs are going to replace that.
You think it's actually going to become like part of a company? Like, do you think companies are going to be turned into blockchain stuff and then you own a piece of that kind of a thing? That makes more sense.
Because then they have more control over it.
Yeah.
They have control over it.
And
period.
royalty and like a whole bunch of stuff. Like,
if I was a company, stocks, I'd be boring and unpredictable. I've said it.
It's a portion of your company.
It would make more sense to have your own like. It just makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
And with where we're going as like technology, to just like
as more of like a digital thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was a company and I was like stocks or NFT, like
I would or a cryptocurrency
or something.
Or like a digital asset version of. I mean, like, it's practically a digital asset, but it's just a better made digital asset.
Just make a digital like contract and then have like an asset.
Because I do question what I'm buying really when you buy a stock. Like, what is that? Like,
but then you have more control over it, and then
you do, and you see it. It's a physical thing. It's like an inside of your
and it's less sketchy. There's such a bad rep with stocks and like buying them and it just.
Who from a bunch of things like and brokers.
Yeah,
like
I've seen Wolf on Wall Street. Okay,
bunch of money. Yeah, that's the other one. Wolf on Wall Street.
Such a good movie, dude.
It's a really good movie. Yeah,
classic.
That's a good point, though.
Yeah.
Did you see the speaking of the NFT stuff? The fact that they ran the numbers on OpenSea. There are like around 400,000 people on OpenSea, right? It's a very small number of people. Coinbase announced that they are going to be doing NFTs soon. Yeah. Do you know how many people are on Coinbase?
No.
It's like 6 million people. Yeah. So now you have to.
I was thinking like 1 million, like tops.
Right? Yeah. No, it's like 6, dude.
How?
And of the people that own Coinbase wallets, right? Okay. It was like a super small percentage that also owned NFTs, like maybe like of like a 4% or like something super tiny, right?
As a business decision, that was smart,
right?
Like, I want to be the person that brought that to the table because they're set for life.
But that's the other thing where it's like, okay, if you're in the NFT scene right now, before Coinbase actually announces some kind of NFT thing, like all of those projects are going to have a huge set of eyes then on them. Like almost, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, like 12 times
at least
the amount. Like just.
I'm trying to do the math. Math doesn't happen.
But it's like a massive number
it's
like an influx that could be of people looking at it and seeing it, kind of a thing. And then you also have like as a trading platform, like now Coinbase becomes one because it's more. It's got its own. Does it beat out OpenSea? Because you already have 6 million.
Does it?
Right?
Absorb it, because there's a point where there becomes too many, and then they start getting absorbed. We saw that with like Tumblr, like it got absorbed, and then like other stuff is like slow, like Instagram and Facebook kind of went into each other because there's so much of the same. I like Rarible, don't take it down.
But there's so many ways that it could go.
Yeah.
Right, and it's like it's so interesting that it could actually.
I wonder
as a thing.
So they just announced this.
Yeah.
I wonder how long they've been working on it.
Oh, probably a while.
At least a year, you think?
Oh, yeah. They probably saw the whole NFT scene blowing up and were like, why are we not getting a part of that?
Who owns Coinbase?
I don't know. It's a company of some kind that ends up and has been or like has made it, but I don't know exactly who.
Because I start to wonder, like,
don't know if it's American. I don't know if it's
all these people start making their own, and then what it's backed by. Because then you're gonna get one. I think it's on here. Yeah. Do you think that the government will implement its own cryptocurrency? Do you think that there could be a government-backed like platform that
they were talking about this recently?
Yeah.
That was a thing. They were like, we could actually make a government currency, and yes, I think they might.
They're going to need to in the future. I feel.
I mean, like USD.
Yeah. I mean, it's like
already exists. Like, you mean there's a bunch that it's like they're not legitimate ones tied to the U.S. dollar, but there's definitely ones where you go, yeah, if the U.S. government made their own, that would make sense. Yeah. In other countries too, because like, why wouldn't you, right? And if your country is going to adapt that and run with it, that's pretty good.
The American blockchain.
Yeah, it would be. It would be the American blockchain. And then you'd know every time something gets printed, every time something gets,
They should put the National Archives, upload them. Trump's suing them, by the way. Did you know that?
The National Archives?
Yeah.
Why?
There's they said something wrong or something. I don't know. I didn't look too much into it because I'm tired. But they should just start throwing things out there. Like, you can be like, I own the 4th draft of the Declaration of Independence NFT.
That'd be interesting.
That would be cool. National treasure.
No,
without
that's
yeah.
Huh. Yeah, that's weird.
I'm really wondering because they've been very quiet about. I understand that Congress is like absolutely clueless about the internet because the conversation about Facebook, what was that, a couple weeks ago or a week ago?
Oh yeah,
that was just wow,
gone.
But like, I wonder if like maybe military intelligence is like, hey yo, like
possibly. I can see it.
Because, like, if you put, like, super secure stuff, you could track everything.
Yes.
So, like, if something gets leaked, exactly who has access, and then, like, from there, you're able to, like...
Yeah, you're in a pretty good spot.
Because there's no, like, oh, this is a paper, but only Jessica had the paper.
Yeah.
But, like, Rob is looking over and taking a picture with his phone. Like, national security.
Come on, Rob.
You, Rob. No, but
that makes sense. I mean, it would be a smart thing to do, especially if you have and they must have a team working on it. Like, there's no way that they haven't assigned somebody.
Think about this: if you become like an FBI agent, right? They give you some of that cryptocurrency, and you like the amount that you get is your access. So like you put into their blockchain, and you gain access. Like, I don't know how exactly it would work. But that's how you gain access.
No, because they would, they would have a wallet attached to it with your seed phrase.
And then so like you get a promotion, you get 4 more, whatever the is.
Well, it'd be the exact same way that they attach like a password to an account. And
yes,
that account
but it's sign into, way more trackable and secure than that.
That's what, and see, that's a tough one because yes and no. Yes, if they're designing it themselves. No, if they're applying it from a different system.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Like that's why you would have to create your own internal system.
I wonder when they're gonna get like an actual like digital like government team. Like, when's that gonna happen?
We were talking about that. I thought that was
I've been thinking a lot about that
for like
there's like the CIA, but they don't have like a dedicated resource.
Yeah,
they have like teams, and it's like a bunch of people on a giant server, and like just like you see in the movies, but like.
But that would be one of the ones where, like, if I saw my tax dollars going toward it, I'd be like, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good use. Yeah. Like, you're doing a good job. Like, that's an infrastructure I'd be happy to pay for.
And they would definitely go after Facebook. Because Facebook's, oh my God.
Yeah.
I started reading the terms and conditions. Holy shit.
Well, they'd have to be doing something wrong to American citizens, I think, because that's where you draw the line as a government agency. You'd be like, are you affecting my American citizens? Yes or
but
no?
the Congress don't even know what a Synsta is. Like, how the are they going to know? Like, I guarantee they haven't read through all the terms and conditions.
No, yeah.
Like, I guarantee there's probably only like 4 Congress people that know.
That's something that I would love to see if somebody could actually make briefs on terms and conditions of companies. Because, like, imagine being able to read, like, a 1-page breakdown of a terms and service of a company. And it's saying, like, this is what it actually is saying, kind of a thing. But that would be, like, kind of lit.
I'm going to tweet at AOC and be like, yo.
Yeah. Because, like, imagine seeing what it would be for, like, Obviously, McDonald's has one, right? They have a terms of service. Whenever he's like, every app that you've ever downloaded has one. So you go like, okay, what are these saying? And a lot of them are probably generic, right? A lot of them are very, very run of the mill. But like even in the Amazon's got one where I know one of the terms and conditions thing has something to do with a zombie apocalypse. Like it's like in the case of a zombie apocalypse where like people end up eating flesh and like going for brains, right? Amazon is not held accountable for blah, 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 blah.
What the are they doing?
Exactly, right? So like imagine reading that brief though and like looking at that terms of service and being like, okay, why? Amazon, why did you put it in here as a joke? Or was your legal team just like, do they know something, right?
And like, I say AOC not because I am for whatever she does, but because you would understand what I'm talking about. I just want to put that out there.
Well, and that would also be a really good thing to be able to present. Like, briefs, I feel like, are very, and I think I say that in the last one, extremely underrated. Yeah. Just because it's so important to be able to take something and make it very concise.
Well, there was the, the report that came out last year. Or maybe it was 2 years ago. Do you remember that?
The massive spending one? Or the
Mueller?
Oh, the Mueller report.
Mueller report.
Yeah.
They made freaking comic books out of it. I have one.
Yeah.
And
but
I'm
even
like,
the comic books are super long.
Yeah, I was like, damn. But like, it's still like, I was able to like read it because God knows I was not reading that whole thing.
Well, the toughest part is like, you know, and it's that one, if you had a page, one page, that's not a lot.
We should format that. We should do that.
Yeah, 100%.
We should start doing that.
Because imagine looking up a brief. I tried to look up briefs online, like government briefs, like what they look like. There's not a template for it online. I wasn't able to find one. So you got to ask yourself, like...
Tristan might know.
We get him up, be like, hey, what do these briefs look
because
like?
they have to know what they're like to get them to wherever they need to. So.
And then I'd love to know the process of which somebody goes through to be able to summarize something down to just one page.
Next week, we have Tristan. We're going to phone him in.
That'd be good.
That'd be dope. That. I want him to come up here before he moves.
But there's a bunch of stuff where it's like super complicated things that obviously should be like concise like that. And I think that would be one of them.
We are cranking through this.
I know. On the thing of computer stuff and like those kind of things, do you think if you actually had an AI look at the a list of groupings of businesses, like what patterns it would see? So imagine on like Google Maps, right? Okay. You know how you have malls, you have like little strip malls, you've got like weird little areas that are like business centers that obviously have like multiple businesses all built into the thing, and then you also have like areas, right? Mm-hmm. There must be a way for them to look at it and see like, oh, okay, these 3 shops have sat in this location next to each other for God knows how many years and still are here, while other ones have like gone in and out over time kind of a thing, and then be able to look at that like geography and be like, ooh, this is working because of these things, because of the placement, because this one feeds into that and that creates that. Like these businesses are beneficial to each other, these ones aren't beneficial to each other. Like what kind of patterns would you see?
Well,
like
Dan showed us there's a Manhattan version of that.
Okay.
Now it's not doing everything that you say, but it does like show times of days where there is more population in certain areas than there are others, and then it tracks like what people are doing and where they're going at certain times.
Okay.
And I will send that to you.
Yeah.
But you could build on that. Definitely do that.
Right? Because like I feel like it already like there are so many places that have groupings of businesses that are successful for some reason. Yeah. And then other places where you could also put the same grouping and they probably would fail, but you know, there's also like there's got to be a pattern somewhere.
I have a theory about post office. I've never been near a post office that doesn't have a Chinese restaurant within like 2 blocks of it.
Interesting. Why is that?
I don't know.
It's just a good...
It just happens. Huh. Like, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Every town I've ever lived in, that's, like, the deal.
And that would be an interesting pattern to look at.
I have
like,
theories, but, like...
But, I mean, those kind of things, right? Where you go, okay, what is... Or, like, even small towns. Because, like, whether or not a town is successful as it grows could be based on what businesses it has as a part of the town, what it doesn't, where they are.
Scio had that issue because there was we have like what's called the Cover Bridge Cafe, and we have one store. Well, there's a store in West Scio, but never mind. But so there was a burger place that my friend's mom opened. Did not work. Like it was like nobody was like, nope,
burgers,
it's whatever.
Not it.
But we had a McDonald's in Staten 20 minutes away, whatever. But then they closed that. The church bought it. The church does free meals for high school students out of it now. Well, the Mennonite community got together and bought the Covered Bridge Cafe, and then they made it work. So, like, why didn't burgers work? This is redneck utopia, guys. Like, burgers, and then, like,
obviously
BLTs, like,
what's going on?
What's going on? Like, we have no idea, but it works.
Yeah,
like, and it's right next to the store, too.
So there must be, like, there's in my mind, right? There must be something there that's creating that reason,
and
like
it could have been like it's on the other side of the road. Like, there's one road. It's it is one. You've seen it. One road is on the one side of it. Like, it was.
So maybe that's it. Maybe they're coming this way. They want food. When they're going that way, they don't. Like,
no, I completely get it. And then now there's a coffee place there. Like, there's a little coffee like joint there now. Why wasn't that there when I was in high school?
Well, I'm just imagining, because, like, if you extrapolate that, right? Yeah. And you end up getting a really good model that can say, here's things that are patterns that work. Here's stuff I can then analyze an area of now vacant buildings. Yeah. And I could go, these things have the greatest probability of success within this location. That would be a really interesting thing to see.
Well, when you buy or when you rent an office space, are there not, like, demographics that you can get that you from the area or surrounding?
I mean,
I feel like that would be a cool, like,
anybody
realtor type tool.
Oh, 100%.
Be like, your business will thrive. Here's why. Rent this space.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been great. Like, that would have been something that I would have been like, yeah, okay, that makes 100%. Sense.
No, there's a bunch of those where, like, you could actually, if it shows the right one, even to excite people, because even there's people that maybe don't know what business they want to start, but if we're told, hey, there's a 98% chance that if you put a bookstore into this shop right here, it'll succeed.
That should be a tool. Why is that not
right? Like, or even like being like, here's the city of we know there's no bookstore in it. If there's no, like, because people would show up to it if there was one. Yeah. Like, and you made it. They could do them
right out there. Could I get Taco Bell and go to the bookstore?
Exactly. People would show up because they'd be like, that's it. But, I mean, like, nobody knows that doesn't exist in that spot because there's not, like, a city, like, even on, like, a massive scale, right? Of, like, a city checklist where it's like, here's the normal businesses that exist in every city. Yeah. Right? Because, like, a starting one has a general store. Post office is probably number one, and then a post office is like a requirement, and police station is probably another one.
No, because fire department. Fire department does not have a police department.
Oh, okay, so you have fire department. You
they have an office in the fire department.
Okay, see, there you go. That makes sense.
But, like, it's fire department. Fire department.
So you do post office, fire department, schools, Whether or not it has a school is probably important.
Yeah, I know a lot of towns.
Or nearby, there's probably some that don't, right? Yeah. But you could obviously start a small school in the town, and people would probably be really happy about it. Even a kindergarten, because that's probably where you want to start.
And you need, like, a small government, so you're going to need, like, some sort of, like, office,
like a city hall.
Or a city hall. Or, let's see, gosh, what else? A library. I mean, I've never been to a town that doesn't have a library.
Right? Or at least something. Yeah. Some place where they just
Scio even has a freaking library.
Right?
It's tiny.
Because you need it. Yeah. But then you go to the more, like, obvious ones. You go like fast food, like a restaurant, like and then
gas station.
As soon as you say restaurant, though, there's so many restaurant types.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot more restaurants in towns than anything else.
And people want all of those options. Yes. Like, no matter what town it is, I'm sure every single town wants a sushi place. It wants a Taco Bell. It wants because all the people there want to eat some kind of different cuisine because they're gonna get tired of whatever they're eating.
I tried Thai for the first time the other day.
Yeah,
it was really good.
Right? Like, and that's what they want. They want that kind of stuff. And even if it's just like a food cart arena that has a bunch of different options,
don't get me started.
That's what you do. Like,
though, that's a crush dream.
But I think that one is a very good. Like, I don't know why that tool doesn't exist. Maybe it does, and I just haven't found it yet. But
I don't think it does.
I feel like that would be something because like that would be the equivalent of like a live look at like a civilization builder of our own stuff.
So sick,
right?
I'm just like imagining like the UX,
the UI, right? Because if you're looking at Wilsonville, you could see certain things and be like, "Here's what Portland has that Wilsonville doesn't," and then you look at it and you go, "Okay, why is it? Why are those numbers like that? How does that work? Like, what's not there or there that could be here but is not?"
Okay, an example of this would be like Chick-fil-A's testing. Their little every Thursday evening. Yeah, I got the day down that they're here because I used to live by one and not anymore. they're here Thursdays. They're testing out the environment. Well, what if they didn't have to test it? What if they knew, like, yeah, we would thrive right here.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, I wonder if you could, like, get to the point where you, in terms and conditions of food apps, if you could see in what area how many people downloaded the app, and then be like, yeah, we've got 80% of the population has the McDonald's app, and 30% has the sushi app, and 25 has this, and 50 has this, and they have both the McDonald's and the sushi app, and blah blah blah. And then you're like, they got the Chick-fil-A one, and they don't go very often, but we could change that.
Yeah.
Just kind of stuff.
Well, and you also, like, because once you have the ability, because if you say, let's say we've created an app that has this UI, right, that can see all those things, you can ask for cross-application tracking inside of the app.
Yeah.
And that information that you could gain from that is going, okay, of the people that have downloaded this app and now have it, how many go to their searching thing, right, on Google Maps or Apple Maps and go Chick-fil-A or anything, right?
Yeah.
Because then you can say, okay, this person lives here. They're a part of this city, which means that if I put this thing here at this city, that would be something that would be, and then you're into a whole demographics thing of like actually.
Two more interesting things. One, this would be great for developers because then you could go and be like, yo, if we develop this building, you can fill it with these kind of businesses and make a lot of money. Two, you could track people's commute to and from work every day because I know a lot of people that go and they see traffic and they're like, I'm going to go get something to eat because I'm not going to just sit in here. I'm one of those people. Thank you, Burger King, for having hash browns. But, like, you could track that and be like, okay, along this highway, like, there's nothing right here, but this is where there's a lot of traffic. People get stuck here. Let's say 8% of people go off the highway and do something over here for an hour until traffic clears out.
Yeah.
That would be something that's, like, really useful.
Because it's just a vacuum. You're looking at different vacuums that exist and then being like,
and then you're, like,
this is what
optimizing.
people want here.
Yeah, you're, like, optimizing the space that you're in and then, like, gets rid of, like, a lot of business problems. Like, if I'm going to start a business, it would be helpful to know where I would succeed.
A very simple app for just optimizing America.
Yeah. Don't get me. You know how many brands I'm building for this company right now? I'm fucking tired. You take this one.
Optimizing America? Sure.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be super cool. Cause I would use that because I would want to know, like, okay, now we're going to want to open another office, sometime soon, maybe a bigger one. And we want to know, like, of course, Portland's probably going to be our best.
Do it?
But, like, what if we wanted to do it around here? Where would it be more beneficial?
It also depends on clientele. It depends on, like, a whole bunch of stuff. Because, when you're in the media profession, right, that's a totally different demographic.
Totally different.
Than the people, because, like...
Yeah. Because we want to get people that own businesses. We don't care about, like, you going to the business. We want to know if you own the business. So,
or
like,
if you need your own help, kind of
yeah,
thing.
or
like a personal person.
If, like, let's say, like,
something.
you see that there are more Google searches on how to start a business in this area, then, of course, we're going to stay here because there's going to be all these people that are, like, trying to get their foot in the door. Well, we can help you get in the foot in the door. Like,
exactly. To create that, to be able to do things. Yeah. No.
Ooh, this is good.
I know.
Dude, we are, like...
See? This is...
Every time.
And that's the exciting part. Mm-hmm. Is that we talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll work on it probably a little bit.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you someone out there is gonna make it. That's the most exciting part because I can't wait to actually see it. Like, as a thing that exists and then I can use and then I can email them and be like, hey, I'd love to fix this kind of a thing. Because feedback on apps, people don't do it enough.
They should do it. Like, this would help grocery stores if you think about it. Like, like what they carry, like produce-wise, what they're close to, and what they could probably do locally versus what they could do, like, ship in, and what percentage of those people are actually going to buy those, like, fruits and vegetables,
that's a good
produce,
point.
or, like, like, what more to stock. I feel like that would help that.
Well, because, I mean, like, I feel like very few farmers are probably putting something up where it's like, here's what I'm growing right now.
Yeah. There you go.
And I mean, like, if I was a small shop that, or a grocery store that knew, here's what all my local farmers are growing right now.
Or like a florist even. Like, what kind of flowers are around
in the
here?
area?
Like, what can I, like, help with? Who can I
What can I
partner
bring
with?
in that's nothing like what's here so that I see something different?
And, like, what percentage of people around here actually buy flowers?
Also important. And I feel like especially for a florist, like, knowing a good location for that is huge.
Yeah, like we have a lot of rain here.
I must think that if you have a wedding parlor, the closest floral shop to that wedding parlor is doing a lot of business with that wedding parlor.
There's always like a florist or like this is kind of dark, but like near like funeral homes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like it's right there. It's always like right there, like on the corner.
Cause they're
like it's right
they're
there.
like this.
Yes,
they're that's what it does, and that pattern probably exists across the board too. Yeah, it's like Taco Bell and public restrooms.
I saw. Okay, there is a place in Portland, and I'm not making this up. That I saw this. I had to look at it like 4 times before I believed this was a thing.
Yeah.
There is a little like chapel for weddings.
Okay.
There's a florist. Okay. And there's a funeral home, and then there's a cemetery. It's right off the highway.
Nice.
Yeah.
See, that's all you need.
It's like white, purple, black.
Yeah,
I'm like, what the? I'm like, okay, I drove back once. I was like, all right, whatever. We go back, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like,
they're like,
the whole process of life is right there. I'm like, God, you just need a hospital on the other side, you know?
Ooh, yeah, that would be good. That would be good. Put it right in the middle. And then you could just...
It was so. I was
actually,
like,
no, you would need a hospital at the beginning.
I gotta find what road it is because I'm
and then
literally gonna take you there because
that'd be good.
I'm like the buildings are literally white, purple, like a nice lavender purple, black.
Or like the number of coffee shops that exist inside of grocery stores. Yeah, so many,
tons. I don't know. Starbucks really has a grip on that though.
They do.
They're like really like.
They're like, hey,
Safeway,
how you doing? Freddy's, how you doing?
Yeah.
Like, listen, we know you got this small space on the inside.
You know, Dutch has gone public. I wonder if they're going to do that. Because Dutch, they did it at the university, so maybe they're going to be like universities, younger demographics. Because you have older demographics in stores.
Yeah.
Like, because we
I
all
still
shop
see them
online.
as more of like a standalone kind of like drive-through thing. Because they're definitely on like the sit-down.
But the university one worked. Like, maybe just like universities and like some stadiums, because I feel like...
Yes.
You know.
Well, traffic is the biggest one.
Yeah.
And they pump out stuff.
Yeah, they do. God, walking through a Dutch... oh, my God. How you do it? I'm like, I just need coffee.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me. You're bumping Lizzo. You guys are... It's like 5 in the morning.
That's all they're doing.
They're literally... I feel like
shots.
Team meetings beforehand, they're shotgunning Red Bulls. They're
okay,
3, let's go. And then
I dropped a Red Bull on my driveway, and the gravel driveway punctured it, and it started. Yeah, I was like, I have to shotgun this. I have to. This is the only thing that I can do.
The
at
rush
this point.
of doing that, you feel like you're gonna pass out, but it's like crazy.
Gotta do it.
Don't disclaimer at the bottom.
Do it at home.
Don't do it at home.
Do it at home.
We're gonna
try it.
We're gonna get
shot.
sued.
You.
Oh my God. Okay, we're at an hour. Leo, you got enough?
Yeah.
All right.
100% he does.
Cool.
Any quick things you wanted to talk about, like just that are on your list, maybe to leave them with that we could possibly talk about next time? I definitely didn't cover everything that's on mine.
Facebook has podcasts now.
Love that.
That's what I'm gonna leave it at.
Okay. The 3 that I hadn't got to that I'm excited to talk about next time are like, why is SNL not on Twitch? The security in crowds stopping people is just a human filter. And then someone hasn't done this yet, but I really want to see it, a 30-second episode commercial where it's they take a commercial spot, right? But they turn it into an episode, and then they just air a new episode every week, just like they would.
Cartoon Network did that.
On really?
Yes.
With like a 30-second
I will
thing?
show you when we're done.
Please do.
Yes.
Because like I'd love to see that, but like even the equivalent of that, but like for the football season, I think would be really huge.
Ooh, yeah.
Because right now they could start that episode, and the season finale could be a Super Bowl commercial. And people would be like, that commercial, even if people were like, that commercial makes no sense.
Yeah.
Right? They'd be like, wait a minute. And then people would talk about it. They'd be like, oh, you missed the whole season leading up to this.
That's so cool, yeah.
Right? And then now people would go back and they'd be like, what is this product? Why is it thing? And then like...
We'll talk about that next week.
Next week, right?
All right.
Okay. Rock on?
Yeah. See ya.
Night, everybody.